Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 mobile platform was announced today. Now, this is a very, very big deal in my eyes. It is. It may not be in some other people's eyes, but this is a big deal for me. Now, it's not going to power the new, obviously not the Google Pixel 8 Pro, but it will power the leading Android flagship in my eyes, the Samsung Galaxy S24 series, more specifically the S24 Ultra. It's what I'm recording on, and it's, in my opinion, the best Android phone you can buy, or the best phone, period, you can buy. But what's cool with this, and well, we'll get into the details, obviously, but they're really going to be, you know how Google, when they released this 8 Pro, they've made it like we're including all these different AI capabilities, machine learning, and they're gonna like really push this whole AI thing moving forward. If it's not already been pushed enough, it seems like everything has been all AI this whole year. But it's we're just getting started, whether you like it or not. But they harped on the fact that this new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is going to be able to handle, carry, and produce amazing AI content and possibilities moving into the future. Excuse me. So, not just the Pixel 8 Pro is going to have cool AI stuff. The new, well, it'll allow for the manufacturers to develop and implement their AI content or capabilities onto each device. So Xiaomi, the Chinese company, might have some different AI capabilities they want to implement in their new Xiaomi phone, but Samsung might have their own AI capabilities that they want to implement into the S24 series. And that's what this processor is going to do. Now, as you know, Google is on the Tensor G3. Now, they modified it quite a bit for AI machine learning from the previous gens. Previous generation, the first two were 8 cores. This new Tensor G3 is a 9 core, and it's modified differently with its own TPU, NPU, individual and independent processing units specifically for machine learning and AI stuff. Sorry, I was thinking of like 5 things at once. So this processor, they're going to fine tune this new processor just for these companies to implement their own AI ideas and kind of fun tools, how they would like. Now, this is not only a whole AI thing, but this is set to be a very, very powerful chipset. We'll get in. I'll show you something here in a second where it's going to blow your mind. But let's look at what they announced today. We can get into the documentation. Blah, blah, blah. What is this? A PDF? We don't want to do that. Let's go back. So let's just look at the basic stuff here. I'm not going to read everything, but let's just go over some basic details here. The Qualcomm Hexagon NPU delivers 98% faster performance. Did you hear that? 98% faster performance and 40% improved performance per watt for sustained AI in referencing. The Qualcomm Cairo CPU reaches unprecedented speeds with upgraded CPU subsystem and a 30% performance improvement and a 20% improved power efficiency. So it's going to be more powerful and more efficient. Hopefully it runs cooler. Not that I had an issue before, but it's always nice to have a cool phone. It says the new Qualcomm Adreno GPU yields 25% faster graphics, rendering a 25% improved GPU power efficiency for enhanced gaming and streaming. Intelligent Capture, the Qualcomm Spectra, our leading cognitive ISP, produces AI-enhanced photos and videos in real time for exquisite quality in any environment. Capture extraordinary content with generative AI voice-activated photo and video editing. Wow. Um, Console-defining gaming features. Our full Snapdragon Elite gaming arsenal is bolstered by an astonishing 200 hertz display for 240 frames per second. Cool. So you'll be able to pair it to a monitor, I'm assuming via cable, to get those types of speeds, but it will have a very low latency, as you can see here. Not only with the video producing 240 hertz for the display and 240 frames per second, but also with ultra low 48 millisecond latency on the sound. That's imperative. I can't tell you how good these Galaxy Buds are paired with a Samsung phone, because the latency, especially for video recording, that means like when it records the audio, when you see my mouth move, that's how fast you hear something, right? If it's paired up perfectly, you're going to hear me talking it like I am in person with the sound. That basically has to do with the sound. If you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about. Now, this is also imperative, not just for making videos, but for if you're a gamer. Latency with how much of a delay is there between audio and video and what's happening in real time. That's basically what it's saying. So they reduced it down to an ultra low 48 milliseconds latency for the sound. And they have an all new modem, which I am very interested in. The Snapdragon X75 modem RF system offers best in class 5G, packing 2.5x AI processing power at the hardware level for faster, power efficient operation and better location accuracy. The Qualcomm Fast Connect 7800 connectivity system is the only solution offering Wi-Fi 7 with high band simultaneous multi-link and Bluetooth technologies for unstoppable speeds and reliability. Now, this is important because I came across something that's very cool, and I pulled something up here. Is there any more stuff to get into? We'll just take a quick look at this. So basically, without getting too much into the details, if we haven't already, it's basically going to be badass, more powerful, more efficient, everything improved upon like every year. Every year it gets better, faster, more power efficient, and this just continues on. We're just highlighting some of the cool features and details in numbers as far as that goes. But it'll basically, here's your cellular technology. It'll carry a multi-SIM like they all do now. Peak, check this out. Oh, this is Wi-Fi. Peak speeds of 5.8 gigabits per second for, I'm assuming, download. And that's the Fast Connect that I'm going to show you here in a second. Supports up to Wi-Fi 7, which future-proofs the CPU. If you know, Wi-Fi 6 has been out for a few years. Well, they've been developing Wi-Fi 7 behind the scenes, if you didn't know. Now, that should be ready for public release probably in a year or two. It's still, I'm not sure. I don't even think they have anything Wi-Fi 7 routers out right now, but this will future-proof it. So if you have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 phone, let's say you have the S24 Ultra 4 years from now, still going to work perfect. Not going to be outdated by any means. So supports Bluetooth 5.4. Got the new modem for better connectivity through data. Let's see. Yes, we know all this already. Okay. So here's the comparison with the Gen 3, where my mouse is at. Gen 2, and then 8 plus Gen 1. And look, they basically keep it the same clock speed. Actually, it's down a tiny bit, but the improvement is going to come in the, it's still 4 nano. Good, that's what I was looking for. 4 nanometer process node, which I was wondering at what point are they going to start, slowing down and plateau on the process node, because as you know, for processors, they went down from a 10 nanometer processor to 8 nanometer processor down to I think it was a 6, then a 5, and now we're at 4. And I was like, well, I guess it's 3, 2, 1. And then what happens when you hit 1, right? Well, I think they plateaued. Look, we will get to 3 nanometers in the future, but obviously you can't go to 0 or else there would be no processor. So I think they're fine tuning I think they found the sweet spot at 4 nanometers for Qualcomm for their Snapdragon processors. The Apple Bionic chip, which we're going to discuss in a second, is actually on a 3 nanometer, and that may be the cause of some overheating issues. Remember, we did a video on this. It's very, very powerful, but the foundation where it sits on, that's basically the process node, is smaller. So it's producing an enormous amount of power and definitely more heat, but the foundation is basically the process node, like where the processor sits on. It's the foundation of it where it's built upon. That's smaller. So there's less heat dissipation. So the heat's got to go somewhere. So it goes out into your battery, goes out into other parts of the inside of your phone, and then eventually finds its way out through the components of inside of your phone. So I think that was some of the issues with the iPhone 15 overheating. But Qualcomm's not going to 3 nanometers. They're sticking at 4. And I think that's a good idea. Just fine-tuning that one. And you should be good to go. Because whenever you reduce the nanometers on the process node, every year like they have been doing, I think they've been lowering it down. Now look, these two processors were released in the same year, so that was the same. But going back to you remember the 855 Snapdragon, all that stuff, they were reducing their nanometers by 1 every year. Long story, let's not get into it, but check this out. The quick connect, what do they call it? Limitless connectivity. Fast connect, that's what I was looking for. Check this out. Fast connect 7800 is going to be really, really cool.